The guys at Benelli have a knack of making motorcycles that always spark your interest, and the Benelli 302R is no different. The 302R looks like a big 600 from the front, but follow the lines and you will notice it's only the front that's huge, while the remaining of the motorcycle looks a bit small compared to it. But still, it looks fancy and sounds great, enough to get a second look all the time. Powering this machine is a twin-cylinder 300cc engine that is liquid-cooled and fuel-injected. On paper, it produces 38.26 horses at a high 11,500 rpm and 26.5 Nm of torque again at a high 10,000 rpm. And obviously, we went prepared expecting a troublesome low end. But to our surprise, the engine and gearing is so well sorted that you can roll around town in 6th gear at speeds as low as 40 km/h and face no knocking or jitters and pull away cleanly. The gearbox in itself is well sorted, but surprisingly we did hit the unintentional neutral every once in a while during low RPM shifts up and down in first and second. As expected, the gears are short to help the heavy 302R get going. This helps the machine to catapult itself from 0 to 100 in about 9 seconds and will do a top speed of around 175 km/h. But even though the looks and sound of this machine suggest of a pure sports bike, in our books it is actually more of a sports tourer. The bike will do a 100 km/h cruise at 6500 rpm in top gear. It is a high RPM to cruise at, but the thing to note is that the bike will rev well past 10,000 rpm and refinement levels are really good even at the rev limit. But at the end of the day, the power and torque are quite peaky, and while it is rideable at low RPMs, if you really want to have fun, you need to rev this machine. It is when the RPMs cross the 8000 mark that the bike really comes alive and sounds sweet, and you automatically start to love the high RPM scream and begin to explore higher RPMs. All this rev-happy fun usually results in compromised fuel efficiency, but we were getting a decent 28 km per liter, and couple that with the 40-liter tank capacity, you can expect a real-world tank range of about 330 km. The build quality on the Benelli 302R is at best good and not exactly premium. Things are put together well, but there is nothing wow or nothing really bad about it. The instrument console up front has all the details that you need from it, such as the speedometer, analog tacho, gear indicator, fuel gauge, trip meter and even a clock. But we just wish it looked a lot funkier. Now, the Benelli 302R is deceptively big and small at the same time. We say this because you see a big bike but you sit on a small bike. The only thing that really gives you a sense of hugeness once you're on it is the long tank between you and the handlebars. This means that even though the handlebars are high and not extremely sporty, there is still a decent lean forward. We feel that a bit more rear set foot pegs would have made a more comfortable riding position. But like anything new, this is just a matter of getting used to. The seats are comfortable and like we said earlier, it suits the sports tourer character this bike has. But the best part is that even though the 302R weighs about 198 kgs, once you're on it and riding along, it has a very light and easy feel to it. The weight is only really apparent if you're stationary and pushing it around parking. It also did not feel big or difficult even in city conditions once we got used to the dimensions. The Benelli 302R is best out on the fast winding roads. It is absolutely stable on those fast corners and handles the tight ones too with poise. The chassis from the Naked TNT 300 has been worked on for the 302R, and that shows because this definitely handles better than its Naked sibling. It changes directions easily as well, and the suspensions keep up with the fast direction changes. From the showroom, the bike comes shod with Metzeler tires, the same ones on the KTM 390s, and they take the already well-mannered 302R's handling a notch higher. 41mm USD forks do the suspension duty at front, which is joined by a preload adjustable rear monoshock. The front brake lever is an adjustable one and controls twin 260mm discs. These were sharp and really did their jobs very well. The game changer on the 302R though is the switchable ABS, and that too performed well and almost all the while was non-intrusive. So there you have it. Essentially, the Benelli 302R is a well-built machine that has what it takes to stand apart in its segment. It may not give you a huge rush in the way its power is delivered, but what it lacks in that department, it makes up for it by being a good-looking motorcycle that is easy to ride, handles well, and sounds great. And now throw in the 4-year unlimited kilometer warranty and things look even better.